This video focuses on composite functions. This first slide is a description of what a composite is. I tell my students to work from the inside to the outside. So how we say, this is a little circle right here. It's an open circle. It says f of g of x. It can be written two ways, with what we call fog, or the double parentheses here, f of g of x, and this is how you say it. F of g of x. Now we have a little picture here. We take x and we evaluate it into the g of x, and then whatever we get out, we evaluate it in for the f of x. We have the opposite down here, which we call goth, or as a double parentheses, g of f of x, and this is how you say it. Now just imagine the circle up above, these two circles right here and right here would flip-flop. So let's go and do an example. We have two functions, one blue and one red, and we want to find the fog. We want to find out what is f of g of x. So we work with the innermost parenthesis first, the x and g of x, and we're going to evaluate it into the f of x function. So this g of x is going to go in place of wherever there's an x in the blue function. So you say equals, I'm going to replace this x with 3x, and then I still have the squared minus 1. Now we'll simplify that. 3x times 3x is 9x squared, and then minus 1. Here's a second example, f of g of 4. So we go to the innermost parentheses first, which is the 4. And we're going to go backwards and evaluate it for the g of x function. So that's going to go in for x. So f of, and now I'm going to replace that x with 4. Now I multiply it. 3 times 4 is 12. Now I go back and evaluate it in the f of x function. So I'm going to take this 12 and plug it in right here. So we're going to replace the x with 12 squared minus 1. 12 squared is 144, minus 1 is 143. Next example, we want to find the goth. So we're going to go the opposite. We're going to evaluate for g of f of x. So we go to the innermost parentheses first, f of x, and we're going to evaluate it into the g of x function. So imagine taking this blue function and substituting it in right here. So I say equals, the 3 stays as it is, and now I'm going to replace with x squared minus 1. Now I'm going to just clean it up, so I'm going to distribute the 3 through. 3x squared minus 3. Next example, we want to take the fog of negative 2, which means take f of negative 2. So we can ignore the g of x function. We're not using it at all. So let's go into the innermost parenthesis first, which is negative 2. Look backwards. We're going to evaluate the f of x function. I'm going to replace that x with negative 2. So I still have this f, and now I'm going to replace the blue x with a negative 2 squared minus 1. Now we get f of negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. Now we have to evaluate the f of x function again one more time, but now it's for 3. So 3 is going to go in for x. So I say 3 squared minus 1. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 1 is 8.